We don't want you to be nice to each other from an out of alignment. We don't want you to fake it. We want you. Esther saw an advertisement in a magazine years ago. Jerry and Esther were on an airplane, and it was a hotel ad. And the ad said, we don't hire people and tell them to be nice. We hire nice people. Because you can't make anybody be nice if they're out of alignment. And so Esther assumed that what the ad was saying is, we hire people who are in alignment. We hire people who know about staying, who it's become their nature to want to feel good. Well, life keeps coming at you. This is the thing that we want you to acknowledge, embrace, and be all right with. Life is going to keep coming at you because there are so many variables. And you just want your shock absorbers to be ready to enjoy, not deal with, not cope with, not tolerate. We want you to enjoy life as it comes. Because every time another piece of it comes in answer to a request for expansion that you have set out there. Every bit of it. So when something comes that feels a little uncomfortable, what it is posing the question, which you're putting in the vortex, which will attract the answer, which you, if you're one of the cooperative components, then when you get to move toward the answer of your own question or toward the solution to your own problem, you get to experience the growth expansion that you're all about, you see. It's so interesting to us. We love you so much, but so many humans really think that they just want life to just be this perfect way so they can just observe it and feel good. And we promise you that will never be, and that's why you stir so much trouble up. You look for problems because it's so satisfying to find solutions. And because problems and solutions, that is the equation for expansion. Question, answer, question, answer, question, answer, question, answer, question, answer. That's the formula for expansion, which is the mantra of that which we all are. We are eternal beings, and if we are not expanding, we are really done, and we will never be done. So you can't stop expanding, so you might as well embrace your expansion, which means understand how expansion comes. So when you understand how expansion comes, then just because something's not perfect, you don't freak out and condemn it and be rude about it. When something, you embrace it, you appreciate it, you feel thankful for it, you feel satisfied that it exists. And then you live happily ever after with so many others who have differences in desires and opinions and beliefs.
So
because no one is a threat to you other than your own split energy. And it's not really a threat, it's just an irritation.
So next time I should be, baby, I'm so glad you're mad at me. No, I'm just being silly.
Well, no, that's not silly. But there's a more beneficial to you approach there, because it may or may not be that you're so glad that she's mad at you. But what you really want to say is, I'm so glad that this situation has been focused upon and has produced a new desire in me to which I will enjoy moving toward. It's so fun to move toward things. We'll say it again, 100% of all satisfaction comes from a new desire that you're from a desire. It doesn't have to be new. But we want to say new because if you've got this down, desire, you move toward it, so you need another new one. In other words, you don't ever get it done. So you know what you don't want, you know what you do want. What you do want isn't your most active vibration. What you don't want usually is. But it's the most active vibration for your inner being, so it's calling you. So you have to adjust into the new desire because the situation that produced it is what's most active in you. Yes? Isn't that the way it is? What is what's most active in you. So now you care about the alignment, so you look toward it. You find the feeling place of it. You do some of the things that we've talked about here, and you find the vibrational alignment to the desire, and it feels so good as it clicks into place. Aha. And then, once you've found the vibrational alignment, now the manifestation happens too. So you ask for it, you lined up with it, and now it manifested. And now you're standing in a whole new place with a whole new set of contrasting experiences, producing whole new desires. Yay, I'm still alive. And then you line up with that, it clicks into place, it manifests, now you're standing in a whole new place with a whole new set of contrasting desires. And what's the flawed premise that so many humans live by, even those who've been listening to us for a while, is that once I get that, I'll stand in this place, and now my work is done. And we say, if your work could ever be done, then your satisfaction could be done too. Because if somebody or something doesn't stir up a new desire to which you are moving toward, you're not going to find any satisfaction, because satisfaction comes only from moving toward the desire. Yes? You don't have to close the gap completely to be satisfied. You just want to be moving toward it. You can't be moving in opposition to it. And you move in opposition to it when you're defending where you came from, when you think that there's this pie that you're splitting up and fighting over. It's nothing like that. The universe is expanding in direct and equal proportion to the desires that you produce within each other. So what you want to say is, baby, thank you for producing a new desire within me. A desire for more harmony, a desire for more understanding, but most of all, a desire for the expansion that this whatever it is producing. So if you want to talk about something specific, you can't, it's not really important, but might be beneficial. We could talk about some actual disagreements and talk about it from the platform that we've just established, and you can see how easy it is to find that new place.
Okay. I have learned when we are going through contrast and one of us is out of
I have learned that when contrast has presented itself to us,
it's not good to quote Abraham in the middle of a conflict.
But here's the thing. Here's the flawed premise in that. Here's the flawed premise in that. If you're in alignment while you're quoting what you know, it goes down a lot better than if you're out of alignment and all defensive. Because if you're out of alignment and all defensive and using the Abraham words, you just look like a fraud. And what happens is, if it's like most conflicts, is in the moment that you point out how someone could do something a little better, they want to remind you of when you weren't doing that. Even though it might not be happening now. Oh yeah, remember that time? Remember when you were talking about that and I didn't Abraham you. I didn't Abraham you.
Oh, man.
So, want to talk about anything or you feel satisfied?
Is it okay, babe? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, you better go.
I'm just kidding.
You better,
No.
You better go.
No, the one, I'm just kidding, being silly. The one thing that brings up the most, I guess, tension is we both have dreams. I have a lot of dreams, and they fill me with passion, elation. I just envision them, I feel them.
Yeah.
But some of those dreams might take me away for 4 or 6 months, and that's very difficult on her part.
Sure.
So I'm trying to get ahead of the manifestations and create
because you want it
manifest where we both can travel together.
You want it all. You want it all. And so let's say that you've been focused upon one of those ideas, and it produces in your sweetheart the feeling of loss of you, or the feeling of loneliness, or the feeling of maybe even you're so selfish you're going to go do what you want to do instead of what would be best for all of us, or whatever. And so she's feeling the lack in it, and in that is launching rockets of desire. Now, what kind of rockets of desires do you think are going into the vortex when someone feels that they're going to have separation from someone and they don't want it? In other words, she knows what she doesn't want. What is it?
She's sending rockets of desire, what she does want.
But what we're getting at, that anytime you know what you don't want, your rocket of desire is about what you do want. In other words, you just can't know what you don't want without what you do want being completely and accurately and equally evident. In other words, if she really doesn't want something, she really does want something else. But she's focused, it's true of everyone, on what she doesn't want, not on what she does want. But that does want did go into the vortex, and her inner being got hold of it right away. So right away, what she wants which is the opposite of absence from you. What she wants is togetherness and harmony and all of that fun and being together. So that's what she's putting into the vortex. So your dream and being together are now in the vortex, and the cooperative components are already being gathered. So it's a done deal. In other words, your life experience caused you to clarify what you want, and it's in the vortex. It's a done deal. Now, the argument, as she holds to her position of feeling the separation from you, doesn't let her be a vibrational match to what's in the vortex. So it can't come about. So now let's say that you're going to like this. Let's say that you understood this vortex, and that you know that everything works out for you, and that you know that you can have it all. So you know that you can have the travel, that you can have the work wherever it is, you can satisfy your dream, and you can be with those that you love. In other words, you know, let's say that you know that and she doesn't. She's not trusting that, let's say you are. So as you are trusting that, then the cooperative components are all coming into place. The cooperative components are activated, and if you're in the receiving mode, then ideas begin to flow to you. But let's say she's not there. So you're feeling confident and sure and eager about all of it, and you know it's going to work out, but she's more practical. She's living more in the real world, and she's worried about it, and so now you're having a discussion about it. And the more confident you seem, the more aggravated she gets, because she is feeling more and more defensive, and so that's what the battle is going, it feels like it's about. It feels like she's fighting you. But she's not. She's fighting her own vortex. She's fighting her own big picture that's in the vortex. And you can't really do anything about that. That's something that she's got to do. But if you are going to help her at all, then you've got to hold steady with that. But you don't usually hold steady with that, because when you look at her out of the vortex, making her proclamations of what she's worried about, usually you get under the influence of her rather than staying under the influence of what you want. And when you get under the influence of her, now you don't feel good, so now neither one of you are feeling good. No one's holding vibrational alignment with what you want except your inner beings. Both of you are experiencing the separation of your inner beings, and you're both blaming each other for how you feel.
That's good.
See how it works? It really only takes one catching hold of the vision and staying with it. But it feels like to you maybe a little rough ride. In other words, this is what we were talking about yesterday. When you hold the vision of something wanted, and you are close up with someone who can't yet see that vision, for most humans, you just want to be understood. So she keeps trying to get you to come to her to understand where she's coming from. But if you come to her, which is where she's coming from, you're coming away from your vision. And that's so uncomfortable. Isn't it uncomfortable? It's so uncomfortable. And she's not doing it for any deliberate reason. It's just sort of human nature. It's not human nature in terms of the way you are really vibrationally wired, but it's a sort of human habit that you've picked up, because most of you have come to your conclusions based upon what you've been living. And it's hard to trust and expect new wonderful things that you haven't lived before. Most people really believe that they have to give up something for something else. So they believe in sacrifice. So you can go off and live your dream and just leave me home all lonely. You could do that. That's the way most people. It's hard to believe that you could go live your dream and that I could come too, because I haven't experienced that before. Most people need to see it before they believe it. But we want you to know you got to believe it before you can see it. And you got to feel your way to it. So an argument is a good thing if it doesn't last very long. A flare-up is a really good thing because it puts new things in the vortex. But once things flare up, don't hammer with each other trying to find a solution, because when you're out of the vortex, you're not ever going to find a solution. All you're going to do is dig deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into the problem. Now that's all right, because as you dig deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into the problem, you create, what a wonderful more. You put more and more and more into the vortex. But it reaches a point where there's enough in the vortex to keep you happily busy for 20 or 30 years. It's time to start step 3ing it instead of doing so much step 1ing it. And after a little while, you'll come to trust so much in being able to be or do or have anything that you want, that then it won't be step 1 anymore, it'll be step 5. And step 5 is, there's contrast, but I'm loving it. This is satisfying contrast. This is not separating contrast. This is clarifying contrast. Yeah. Helpful?
Yeah, definitely.